Hey guys, I'm out here in the kind of not too far from my house, out in the woods, between a couple of fields and stuff. But I wanted to do a little video about multi-tools. I love them and I hate them at the same time. The one that I've been carrying a lot it's an old Leatherman core. It's a really nice tool. It's got the pliers, which is the main, your main thing. Nice pliers, and then it's got, and then after that, that's where some of the stuff is nice and some of it isn't. On this one, it has a nice file, and it's got what I would say is a really nice longer knife blade. I really do like that. And then it's got the awl and a couple of screwdrivers, and then it's got the saw, which I think is one of the more important things. And then it's got a bunch of junk that I really don't want on my tool. And that's kind of what I'm making this video for. Is I was kind of hoping that maybe Leatherman would see a video like this and really think twice about what they're doing. So let's start ranting about this thing. Like I said, I love this knife blade. It's fine. It works great for this knife. I want a knife that's geared towards the woodsman, the guy that's out in the woods. And the awl, yeah, I like the awl. It's super. I wouldn't replace that at all. I'd keep the awl. But the screwdrivers, if I'm out in the woods, I don't need a screwdriver unless I'm carrying a gun or something like that. And most of the time I don't, unless I'm hunting. And if I'm hunting and I'm carrying a gun, well, then I could carry just a plain regular Leatherman. Well, when I'm out in the woods and I'm doing my bushcrafty stuff and all that stuff, these screwdrivers are worthless to me. What would be nice is take these two screwdrivers out, put me a freaking nice little wood chisel in there, and maybe a nice little gouge in there. Replace these two things with those two things, and that makes it much better already. And then I'd be more happier with this side of the thing. Then you get onto this side, and like I said, you got the saw, which obviously I want the saw. It's just a great item to have. But then after that, it's all rant again. A serrated knife blade. I could care less if I have a serrated knife blade on anything that I own. You know what? Take that serrated knife blade off. Give me another knife blade that I can use for carving. Something maybe with a little different than this knife blade. A little different than that, but give me something that I can carve with. Maybe a little bit shorter, a little bit pointier, something that I can get into the tight spots with. That type of stuff. Because I really do think a secondary knife blade on something like this is a great option. If you're going to carry something like this, it might as well have two knives on it. But I don't want that serrated knife. That thing's junk. It's not junk. It's just not something that I would want as a woodsman. And then you get into this the screwdriver. I don't want a screwdriver. Phillips screwdriver on my blade. You got can opener. I could see some use in the can opener, but you know what? I really don't run into cans of food out in the woods either, so I really don't need it. Because this isn't a survival blade. This is a bushcrafty woodsman type blade. So I don't really need the can opener either. And then you got another little screwdriver, which a flat-headed screwdriver, which I do not need. So if I was going to do something, I would take all three of these tools and make them gone. I would take the serrated blade and make it gone. And then, since it's supposed to be we're looking for something that's a little bit bushcrafty and stuff, why not like I said, replace this bigger blade with like a smaller, more detailed type carving blade, and that would make it better. And then get rid of all these, all three of these, the can opener, the Phillips screwdriver, the other flat-headed blade, and give me a couple spoon carving knives, maybe a longer one and a shorter one. The longer one could have, and I hate to say it this way, but almost a Makatogan type of blade. You know, why not? You could flip the longer Makatogan type blade out to the edge and put the knife blade somewhere else, and then you could close this thing up and actually use it as a Makatogan. It wouldn't have the bend in it, but still, it's better than nothing. And then why not give us, you know, like maybe a couple smaller spoon knives that are you know, shorter in distances. You could just 1, 2, 3 right in there. You know, do something like that. Give us something that we can actually use out here in the woods. Everybody makes a multi-tool, and they make all these different multi-tools, but nobody makes one for the guy that is out in the woods. You know, I mean, I think it's kind of crazy, because look at the market out there for something like that. Bushcraft, woodcraft, it's getting so popular. Green woodworking, it's getting so popular, and most guys that are doing that, we're not sitting at home doing it. We're going out in the woods, and we're camping for a few days, and we're building right off the landscape. And, you know, give us a tool that's going to do that for us. It's just, I don't know, you know, it's just, I've had this tool forever. I use it more around the house than I do out in the woods. I mean, you know, it's just, it is what it is. But I've been looking for something that I can take and put in my pack, just leave it in my pack, and then when I'm out in the woods, I can use it for something. And, you know, nobody makes it. Nobody makes anything that you can do that with. And I think it's a shame that that they don't do it. I've actually even thought about being a little bit of a blacksmith myself. I had thought about buying one of these Leatherman tools that have the unscrewable studs in it, and just going over to the forge and forging myself a whole set of blades to go inside of it, and just basically just use the external frame, and then forge everything else I need and put it in there. And I may do that, and then I don't know, maybe I'll sell it back to Leatherman and say buy my design. I don't know, but you know, I think it's crazy, you know. Everybody that, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels this way. I mean, you know, another thing that they could put on this thing is a magnifying glass, you know, just as a backup fire thing. I don't care about I see there's a Leatherman out there that's got the ferro rod on it. I don't need that. If I'm going to carry a ferro rod with my knife, I'll just put a lanyard on it and carry the ferro rod that way. But, you know, a magnifying glass would be a good thing. That's a secondary fire system for me, you know. I mean, you know, it just is. That's kind of why I carry the Swiss Army knife. I carry an officer, and it's got 2 carving blades in it. It has a magnifying glass, and it has the saw. And then I took the can opener, or not the can opener, but the bottle opener, and filed it out and made a little bit of a gouge out of it, so I have a little bit of a spoon carving gouge. And this is what I've been carrying in the woods, and it works fine. But there you go. Even Swiss Army knife, you know, you got the Phillips screwdriver. I don't need that in the woods. You got a couple different, you know, you got the can openers and a couple different flat screwdrivers and all that. I don't need that in the woods. You know, I don't even really need the scissors. I mean, the only thing I ever use the scissors for is cutting fishing line. And I can do that with the blade just as easy as I can the scissors. So I really don't even need that on there. If Swiss Army knife wanted to, you know, make something different, you know, do the same thing. Give us the stuff we want. Give us the knife blades in this knife are fine. You get one bigger knife and one smaller knife, and that does pretty much all the carving needs you want. But and the saw is great. I always like the saws in these. Magnifying glass is great. I like that. But the one thing that they could add to this knife too would be, you know, put a couple awls, or not awls. The awl in here is good too. But put a couple gouges in here, and a chisel, and, you know, for woodworking, and you know, 1 or 2 spoon bolt carving knives. You know, hell, I mean, you could get rid of the corkscrew on the outside of it and put a spoon carving knife right there. You know, well, no, you couldn't, but you know what I mean. You could do something, you know, get rid of that, set this thing up so the spoon carving knife flips out like this, and even if it has to be sort of on the outside, as long as it's buried down in and you can't get cut, you know, do something. I don't know what you would do. You have more function with the Leatherman than you would with this, but it seems that they could do something too. But I've already emailed the company on Swiss Army Knife about that and asked them if they, you know, if they talk to me and we could try to make something up and work with it. And they were just like, they didn't even want to talk. They were just like, nah, we got our designs, and that's that. Well, whatever, you know, because I don't know if they realize it or not, but there's a huge market for woodsmen out there that want knives that we can use out in the woods that have multiple tools on them. But, you know, and it is what it is. You know, maybe one day these companies will come up with something that's works and is somewhat affordable. I mean, I know it's going to be an expensive tool, but, you know, if I can get that much use out of a tool in the woods, then I wouldn't mind paying the money. But I hate paying the money for one of these tools nowadays, and basically you're buying this tool or this tool, the Leatherman, with all these tools on it, and out in the woods there's only maybe 3, 4 tools on it that you can use. You know, you can use the knife blades, the awls, the saws. Other than that, and the magnifying glass on this. Other than that, everything else could pretty much go. And you could start giving us some carving tools like, you know, like I said, chisels, gouges, hook knives, you know, just all kinds of different stuff. And I will say another thing too. The awls nowadays on knives, you know, there's an awl on this one, there's an awl on this one. I have a Boy Scout knife from about the 1940s or 50s, and the awl on that is 10 times better than these awls. I mean, it just works better. It you know, I don't know. Maybe they need to look at some of the older designs and go back to them too sometimes, I think. But anyways, this is just kind of a rant. I don't know, I spent the last couple days searching for a multi-tool that I want for out in the woods, and I just haven't come across anything that is even worth it for me, you know. And you know, I want a multi-tool that I can do a lot of different stuff with, you know. And I know I'm going to get a bunch of comments, well, why don't you buy one of those flex cut carving jacks or whatever. And those are great. I've never owned the flex cut one, but I see how nice those are. But even those, for me, if I'm going to buy a tool like that, I want it to have a saw. I want it to have the awl, you know. And it would be nice if they would. They're a carving company, so they gear their stuff towards just carving. Whereas as a woodsman, I want a knife that I can do all that carving with. But then, you know, like I said, throw in the magnifying glass, you know, because as woodsmen, you know, we're usually building fires, so, you know, having that extra little bit of kit right there on your knife is kind of a cool idea. And you know, so I don't know, you know, I don't know what to say about it. I guess just wait and see if some company comes up with the right tool or something, because I'm not going to go out and buy one until I get the one I want, and that doesn't look like anybody's making it nowadays. So anyways, I just wanted to throw this little video together do a little bit of a rant. Maybe some of these companies will see some of these videos and go, hey, you know what? We should do that, you know, make everybody happy, make me happy. That's what I want. I want these companies to make me happy with my woodsman's tools. No, but anyways, that's it. I'm sorry. I had to rant. I had to get this out of my mind, because it was driving me crazy, and it's still driving me crazy. Just, you know, it's a shame that you can buy a multi-tool with all these tools on it that have no use to the guy that hangs out most of the time in the woods. You know, I mean, yeah, if I'm around the house, all of these multi-tools are great around the house. We use screwdrivers and all that stuff, but when you're out in the woods, I don't need a screwdriver. You know, like I said, unless I'm carrying a gun or a bow. And most of the time for me, if I'm carrying a bow, it's one that I've made, and it doesn't have anything that I need to use a screwdriver on. And with my guns, you know, I have rarely ever taken any of my guns apart out in the woods. Usually they get cleaned at home, or where I have a base camp, and at that base camp we keep tools, you know, so we can clean them there. But, and as far as the gun that I carry the most, it's a single shot shotgun. I don't have to take that apart to clean it. All I got to do is, you know, run a rag down the inside of the barrel and I'm done. So, you know, I don't know. I just wish these companies would sit down and say, hey, you know, look, you know, there's a big market here. The woodsmans, the green woodworkers, the bushcrafters, you know, we're all kind of the same group. We're all making stuff off the landscape. Let's make them a tool or two that would fit them, you know. But anyways, okay, sorry, going on, and I'm going to stop the video there. Anyways, oh, I might as well do a little update too. My website is primitivehunter.net, and my Etsy shop is Primitive Hunter. And as you guys all know, I do a lot of forage work and stuff like that, and some flint knapping stuff is on my website and all that stuff. But right now the website is fully stocked with everything except for, I think I may have sold out on the Mockatogas. There might be one left on my website. I need to redo that. But all my carving knives and everything are all up on the Mockatogans, or all up on the website. So you can take a look at all that stuff there. And my Etsy shop it's kind of slightly getting depleted, because I sell a little more on Etsy than I do on my website. So if you can't find it in my Etsy shop, it's usually on the website. Actually, I got a lot more on the website, because, like, I'm kind of into the atlatls and darts and archery and stuff like that. So I got some homemade atlatls and stuff like that on my website that I do not put in my Etsy shop. And same with flint points. I got some point sets for hunting, and then I just have some regular oddball points on there. You know, and just a whole bunch of stuff. I got some flint steel strikers on my website that I don't really carry on Etsy, and, you know, just stuff that I do. Some homemade, like, knives and stuff that is on there. There's a lot more on my website than there is on Etsy. Etsy just I've been kind of strictly keeping to the carving stuff on there, and, you know, it just is what it is. But yeah, check those out if you can. Primitivehunter.net or Etsy shop Primitive Hunter. And I just want to say thank you. Like, subscribe, share. Please share my videos as much as you can. I'm trying to kind of build up the channel, and I need to start doing, like, a video every week, but I've been so busy in the blacksmith shop that I just haven't had a chance to do it. And this morning I was out and about, and I was getting ready to go into the shop to work, and I thought, you know what, I've been looking for this knife that I want to buy for like a couple of weeks now, and it was just getting frustrating, and I decided I'm doing a video and I'm going to get it out off my chest and talk to everybody. And so that's what this is about. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you later.